Have you ever tried making a cute iron-on t-shirt only to end up with wrinkled vinyl, corners that won't stick, or a melted mess from your home iron? If so, you're not alone. Iron-on vinyl, also called HTV or heat transfer vinyl, can be really frustrating if you're new to it. Maybe you don't know which side to cut, the adhesive doesn't stick, or weeding just takes forever. Plus, how do you know you've even bought the right kind of vinyl? But it doesn't have to be that way. Hi, I'm Jennifer Maker, and I help people all over the world craft beautiful things. If you've been scared to try HTV or have had some bad results in the past, this tutorial is for you. It's a beautiful day to learn exactly how to use iron-on vinyl to make a super cute, one-of-a-kind t-shirt. We'll walk through it together step by step, fix the most common mistakes, and learn everything you need to get great results. You don't need any fancy equipment to get great results either. I'll even show you how to make HTV shirts with a home iron. You can grab this design and 2 others completely free in my library. I'll show you how to get them in just a few. Now, there are a few rookie mistakes I see all the time when working with iron-on vinyl. Mistakes are super common, especially if you're just getting started. And trust me, I've made more than a few myself. Avoiding these mistakes will save you time, materials, and frustration, and get you much better results. Stay tuned to learn them all, and remember, you've got this. I've created 3 fun and crafty designs that are perfect for vinyl t-shirts. Eat, sleep, craft, repeat. Crafting is my cardio. And I'm sorry for what I said while weeding. Today we're going to make the first one using Cricut Value Iron-On Vinyl and a cotton poly blend t-shirt. I like pre-shrunk shirts, so you don't need to pre-wash. If you decide to wash it, don't use fabric softener because it can interfere with the vinyl. You'll need a cutting machine like a Cricut. I'll demonstrate with my Cricut Maker 4, but you can cut iron-on vinyl on pretty much any cutting machine. You'll also need a green standard grip machine mat and some basic tools. I have my scissors, brayer, and weeding tool ready, along with a piece of iron-on or heat transfer vinyl. I'll use Cricut Value Iron-On Vinyl. Now let's clear up a big source of confusion: how to tell iron-on vinyl apart from adhesive vinyl. Iron-on vinyl or heat transfer vinyl has a shiny clear sheet called a carrier sheet, and you want to cut it shiny side down. Adhesive vinyl, on the other hand, has a paper backing and feels more like a sticker. Now, adhesive vinyl won't stick to fabric very well, but it will stick to signs, mugs, and other hard surfaces. But iron-on vinyl, or HTV, can be applied to all kinds of fabric items like shirts and hoodies, tote bags, towels, and more. When you're shopping for vinyl for fabric, pay attention to the packaging. Cricut makes all kinds of vinyl, and they can look very similar when you're in the store. Look for the words iron-on, HTV, or heat transfer to make sure you've got the right kind of vinyl for a t-shirt. Now that we've got that cleared up, there's just a few more things you'll need, like a heat press or home iron, some parchment or butcher paper, and a t-shirt. I also recommend using a t-shirt ruler to make sure your design isn't too high or low on your shirt. You can make your own with a Cricut in my free file at jennifermaker.com/t-shirt ruler guide. Now that we know what we're working with, let's make this shirt. But before we cut our vinyl, we need a design. Go to jennifermaker.com/748. You can either download right from that link by saving the project, or download from my entire free design collection. To find it, look for Libraries in the red bar at the top, then click either Get a Password if you don't yet have one, or click Enter the library. Search the page for design number 748 and click the link to download the designs. If you're not sure how to use these files, go to jennifermaker.com/svgs to learn how to download and unzip files. In Cricut Design Space, click Upload, then Browse, and choose your SVG file. To help make your design the right size for your shirt, click the Templates icon and select T-shirt. Change the shirt type and size to match yours. Here's how the template looks on my canvas. The t-shirt shape on the left is for the front of a shirt, and the one on the right is for the back. If you zoom into the dash-lined areas, you can see size recommendations for designs placed in those spots. I'll use the corner handles to resize the design so it fits within the dashed lines on the large front t-shirt template. If you'd like to change the color of your design, use the color box at the top. I'll change mine to white to match my vinyl. Iron-on vinyl settings can be finicky, and one of the most common questions I get is, how do I know if I've pressed it long enough? The answer? Try a small test decal first. Let's add one to the project. Click the Shapes icon and add a free shape like a heart to the canvas. Resize it to a 1/2 inch to 1 inch wide and make it the same color as your design so it cuts on the same mat from the same material. Now you've got a tiny test decal to test your pressing settings on the hem or sleeve of your t-shirt instead of risking a mistake on the front. This way, you can test your settings before pressing your whole design. Select your machine from the drop-down menu and click Make. Make sure your material size is set correctly. I'm using a 12-inch by 12-inch mat and cutting a big design, so I'll keep it on that. See this toggle here that says Mirror? This is probably the #1 iron-on vinyl mistake I see, and it's so easy to forget. Since you're cutting from the back of the vinyl, you have to flip your design horizontally so it looks right when pressed onto your project. If you forget, your words will be completely backward on your shirt. To avoid this, simply click the mirror toggle on before you load your mat. Now the design is flipped. Remember how iron-on vinyl has 2 layers? There's the shiny, clear carrier sheet and the actual vinyl underneath. If you load it upside down, you will cut through the plastic instead. Instead, you always want to place it shiny side down onto a green standard grip machine mat. That way, your machine cuts the vinyl layer, not the carrier. On the Make screen, make sure your base material setting matches your vinyl. Since I'm using Cricut Value Iron-On Vinyl, I'll search for Value. It's important to note that the Value vinyl setting is for adhesive vinyl, not the iron-on vinyl we're using. Be sure to select Value Iron-On Vinyl instead. If it's your first time using this material, click the flag-shaped bookmark icon on the right to find it faster next time. I'll select More Pressure too. I find it gives me the best results. Make sure your premium fine point blade is clean and in the clamp, then load your mat and press the flashing button to cut. Before unloading the mat, gently lift a corner of the vinyl to check that the cut went through it, but not the carrier sheet. If needed, leave the mat loaded and press the button again to go over the cuts again. Once the cut is finished, unload the mat, flip it over onto your work surface, and peel the mat away from the vinyl. Use scissors to trim more closely around the design, leaving about a 1/2 inch border. Starting in a corner, use your weeding tool to lift and slowly peel the excess vinyl away. I found that Cricut Value Iron-On tears more easily than other HTV, so go slowly and be gentle. Next, weed the smaller areas. A light pad under your vinyl can help if you're struggling to see the lines. Once weeded, your design is ready to apply. Preheat your heat press to 315 degrees Fahrenheit or 157 degrees Celsius. If you're using a household iron, set it to the cotton setting or the high setting with no steam. Adding steam will deactivate the adhesive on the vinyl. Lint roll your t-shirt to remove any hair or excess fuzz. Now let's get the design placed just right. Lay your shirt on a heat-resistant pressing pad or towel and fold it in half lengthwise. Press the crease for about 5 seconds. Now you have a center line to help place your design. Here's where the t-shirt ruler guide comes in handy. Place it just below the neckline and align the center with the shirt's crease. Curve your vinyl design in half to find the center and gently crease the carrier sheet's top and bottom edges. Holding the design vinyl side down, align the creases in the carrier sheet with the crease on the t-shirt and ruler. Smooth the design down, then remove the ruler. Now your design is perfectly placed. Cover the design with parchment paper to protect both the vinyl and your press. Press at 315 degrees Fahrenheit or 157 degrees Celsius for 30 seconds. Use firm pressure to make sure the vinyl transfers and sticks well. Firm pressure means keeping both hands on the press and leaning over it with some of your body weight. If you're using a household iron, I know it feels natural to glide it across your design like you're getting out wrinkles. But iron-on vinyl needs solid, even pressure to stick properly. Press down firmly and hold the iron still over each section for 30 seconds at a time. Slightly overlap your sections to make sure everything is heated evenly. Cricut Value Iron-On Vinyl is cool peel, meaning you should let the material cool completely before removing the carrier sheet. If you're using a different HTV, check the packaging. Peeling too soon can cause your design to stretch, wrinkle, or even lift right off your shirt. But peeling at the right temp will give you a much better finish. If it's difficult to peel or if spots aren't sticking to the shirt, pat them back in place with the carrier sheet on top, recover with the parchment paper, and press again for another 5 or 10 seconds. Once the carrier sheet is off, your shirt is done. Now be sure to wait at least 24 hours before washing to let the vinyl set. Then you can wash your t-shirt inside out with cold water and a mild detergent. You can tumble dry low or just hang it up to dry. Remember, every iron, heat press, vinyl, and shirt is a little different. That's why test presses are so helpful. And if you want tons more tips, tricks, and settings for a successful iron-on vinyl project, check out my HTV cookbook. It's a great resource for all kinds of heat transfer vinyl crafts. You can learn more at jennifermaker.com/HTV-cookbook. And if you're feeling ready to make customized iron-on vinyl shirts, join my advanced program at jennifermaker.com/advance to learn more with my exclusive workshops and bonuses. Let me know in the comments which design you'll be making. I'd love to hear from you. And I hope this tutorial helps you feel confident and excited to try Cricut Iron-On Vinyl. I'm here to help, and you can totally do this. Until next time, this is Jennifer Maker reminding you to craft a life you love.